Well, good morning. Welcome to Thought for the Day on this bright and breezy Tuesday morning. I've been reading over the last month or two the book of Genesis and the first book of the Bible. And I came across a little incident today that I'd never really thought much about before. It's in the life of Jacob. Now, Jacob, as you may know, was a fairly complicated character. He was a twin. He had a twin brother, Esau, and they came out of the womb with Jacob grasping his heel. And there's a kind of figurative saying in Hebrew that he grasps the heel. It says that he's a deceiver, and Jacob did indeed deceive his brother. He tricked him out of his birthright when his brother was hungry. And later he tricked him out of getting his father's blessing. Esau was technically the older brother, should have got the father's blessing. Jacob, dressed up as Esau, got his father's blessing. So he tricked Esau quite a big way. He was a deceiver, and he's then frightened for his life. And at his mother's advice, he runs away. He runs away to back to where the family had originally come from, to find himself a wife, and of course he actually gets two wives. He gets very rich. He prospers. God is with him, and despite all that he's done, God blesses him. He heads back to the family, to where Esau, his brother and parents live. As now a rich man with two wives. But there's a problem, because he's got to face Esau, the brother that he tricked. And he first of all sends messengers ahead to say I'm coming back, and just to really test the water. And the report he gets is that Esau's coming to meet you with 400 men. At this point, Jacob's feeling a bit scared. He's thinks he's about to face an army. Is not really a fighting type. Really doesn't know what to do. And that's when we get to the little incident I was looking at today. And what it says is that as he prepared to face his brother, he thought, I'm going to have to do a lot to placate him. And he made a peace offering, but it was a fairly substantial peace offering. He selected a gift for his brother Esau from what he had with him. And this is what it says he took. He took 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. And he put each herd in the care of a servant. And what he thought is, if I just offer these to Esau one at a time, they go ahead. By the time I meet him, maybe he'll have accepted these and he won't attack me. And I'm setting my wives and children in the back so that if he does attack me, some of them might escape. So he's kind of set up this plan. And what struck me as I read it was, that's an awful, enormous price to pay for making peace. And it made me wonder, well, what's if that's what it takes to make peace with a brother that we've tricked, or a brother that we've not behaved well to, what's it take to make peace with God? And of course the extraordinary message of the Bible is that God does what in fact Esau does. Now Esau's a complicated character. I don't want to see Esau as a role model, but in this incident, these flocks and herds go ahead, and finally Jacob gets there, he bows to the ground, and he's really frightened. What's Esau going to do? And Esau runs to meet him, embraces him, throws his arms around his neck and kissed him. And he says, you didn't need to do all this, you're my brother. And of course, Jesus told the story of a father who did exactly the same, and that story was meant to be about how God welcomes us back. We don't have to make endless peace offerings. Often we think we do. We think we have to. We think, I can't go back to God because of the sort of person I've been, or we kid ourselves that if we go through some ritual of church going that He'll accept us back. But that's not A, it's not enough, and B, it's not necessary. Because God the Father wants to throw His arms around us, run to meet us, throw His arms around us and welcome us back. And all the peace offering, all the price that has to be made for all the things that we've done wrong that have cut us off from God, it's not one that we need to find. We couldn't possibly afford that price. God Himself paid for it when He sent Jesus to die on the cross for us. So in this little story of Jacob and Esau, I see a picture of how great, what the cost is of a peace offering, and what it was that God did for us when Jesus died for us on the cross. So if you're frightened of coming back to God, or maybe you feel that in order to satisfy God you've got to go through some ritual or pay a great price, you don't. It may feel like that, but it's not true. Because God Himself has paid the price and He longs for us to come back. Well, God bless you today, and I'll talk to you again later in the week.